We have the pleasure of meeting with Jim Zetterquist, local historian again. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Kevin.
Can you tell us about the earliest fire departments that we had here in Willow Glen?
Well, at the turn of the century, the Willow Glen area received its fire protection from San Jose's Fire Station number 4, which was located on Spencer and San Carlos Street. It was also supplemented with a volunteer fire force that came from the community within Willow Glen.
So how did those two forces work together, a volunteer and an organized?
Well, they had to work together. One is that the fire station was not in Willow Glen proper. So residents would assist in responding to any fires. The fire station would ring a bell indicating that they were in need, and the volunteer firefighters would, if they could see the smoke, would go directly to the fire. If not, they would report to fire station number 4 for directions of where the fire was located.
So when did the fire department move from fire station number 4?
Well, it all changed on September 9th, 1927, when the residents of the Willow Glen area voted to make Willow Glen its own city. With that came the responsibility of providing city services. So they then went about building their own fire station on Lincoln Avenue, which was located at 1342. The fire station was completed in 1930 and remained as the Willow Glen Firehouse until 1936. When the residents then voted to be incorporated into the city of San Jose.
So with that incorporation, then the fire station moved again?
No, they remained there until 1949. And at that time, they were known as San Jose Fire Station number 6. And then in 1949, somebody came up with a unique idea of blending a rather loud fire station with a very quiet library. That didn't work out so well, and 15 years later, in 1964, they decided to move the station once again up to the corner of Cherry and Minnesota Avenue. They had to widen the end of Cherry Avenue to allow the fire engines to get into the fire station. And oddly enough, for those of us that remember the building being built, it's the longest operating fire station in Willow Glen. It's operated for 45 years and continues to do so today.
We're sitting in an old fire truck here. Tell me a little bit about this fire truck.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about it, but there's nobody more qualified than retired firefighter and native Willow Glen resident and vice president of the Willow Glen Museum, Jim Carter. He's the one who's the expert on this, but all I can say is this is the only fire engine that the city of Willow Glen ever purchased.
Well, let's talk to Jim. Where is he?
It's around here somewhere.
Let's go find him.
I finally found Jim Carter amongst this world-class fire collection. Jim, could you tell us a little bit about this fantastic fire engine and its significance to Willow Glen?
I'd be glad to, Jim. This is a 1937 American La France V12, so it has 12 cylinders, fire engine, which is unrestored at the present time. It has the original paint when it was purchased in 1936 by Willow Glen Fire Department at that time. By the time of the delivery, the city of Willow Glen was incorporated by the city of San Jose, so San Jose received a brand new fire engine along with the Willow Glen Fire Department station.
So what you're saying is this is the only engine that the city of Willow Glen ever purchased?
As far as we can recollect, yes, as far as we know.
Fantastic. As we look through this warehouse, could you tell us a little bit more about this, as I said earlier, a world-class fire collection?
Yes, this is the San Jose Fire Museum. It's one of the collections, we call it the best collection no one's ever seen. We have a 1905 Cadillac in the collection. We have a 1914 Knox Martin, which we know of only 2 in the world. One is here and one is at the Smithsonian Museum back in Washington, D.C. We have a 1931 Mack engine that we use in a lot of parades, and I'm sure a lot of citizens in San Jose have seen it in our parades. We have a 1926 Seagraves, which is a very rare piece of equipment that we used to use in a lot of our musters years ago when our muster team was present.
Jim, as you said, it's the greatest collection that's never seen by the public. What are you doing to try to get this out into the public so the citizens of the greater San Jose area can enjoy this and appreciate it?
Well, we're working with the city of San Jose and trying to obtain Old Fire Station 1, which is on the corner of Market and St. James. And in obtaining the Old Fire Station 1, we can actually display this collection so everybody can come out and see it and be appreciative of the history of San Jose and the fine equipment that we do have.
Well, congratulations to an outstanding collection. I hope we can take a look at some of these very special vehicles individually.
You're welcome.